What's good? It's BoiGenius here. Happy Mother's Day, first of all. Um, yeah, just shout out to all the mothers holding it down out there, doing the damn thing, taking on the super role of all time, doing, the things that men aren't willing to do. And I really appreciate my wife and my mom, but the topic of the video today is kind of tied into it with it, which is why no samples. And today being Mother's Day, it reminded me of the mother of all learning is repetition. So yeah, that's basically, I'm gonna get to that, but first I wanted to say yeah, the reason I didn't do samples is because not thing. It starts out with a little something like this. Like, I love samples, first of all. I used to be taken to school, elementary school. My mom would take me to school and be blasting Anita James, Sade and Kenny G and all of the, all that good, feel good, smooth jazz stuff. And I grew up with that on the way to school, and it was like embedded. So I love samples. I love that old sound. And I've been I've been doing the sample thing, and it was kind of like a competition between like me and my boys when we would be making music. We would go to Goodwill, get a record, and rip it and flip it and all that good stuff, and see who can flip it better. I love that. I even entered a competition a while back, and it was hosted by a Grammy Award winning producer named Rock Wilder, and I didn't know at the time, but he was really good friends with Busta Rhymes, and in this contest, it was like a see who can flip the sample the best. I prided myself on being able to flip the sample so good because of all of my experiences with samples. So yeah, like my entry was the first one to be played on this live stream, because back then they had Ustream. So like live stream, now anybody can do it on Facebook or whatever, but back then it was like rare. So it was on Ustream, and it was a little more primitive, and they didn't save this live stream where Rockwilder was like, wow, this is crazy. He was getting it in. And then he calls up Busta Rhymes, and he's like, check this out. This is crazy. I'm gonna send it to you. And Busta Rhymes was at the airport or getting on the plane, I believe, and he was wilding out like, whoa, son, this is crazy. And he sends me a little tweet on Twitter, and he was losing his shit at the airport on the airplane. He was getting ready to go somewhere, but there was a few people there that might be able to account for what happened. Like K Fedic, he was on that part of that little contest and during that live stream and all. But yeah, I love samples, but I had to learn through repetition that it's probably not the best thing to do, because as the years went by, I would repeatedly see these major artists getting hammered by the system, the legal system. And yeah, it was pretty bad seeing people that you look up to get sued for basically what some would consider a lack of creativity. But I think sampling is an art form. But seeing your idols get sued left and right, seeing people that don't even necessarily sample, that are just getting inspired by a sound, getting sued for that. That's not even sampling. Just because you were vibing out and you kind of recreated something, like, that's crazy. It was just over and over, like all signs were pointing to no samples. Like, no samples. Like, that's the only way that hip hop is going to thrive in the future, so to speak. So yeah, like seeing that and then seeing, well, a lot of the stuff I'm having on my site, is sampled and it's geared towards people that were trying to do mixtapes. And now, like, mixtapes are not really necessary. With streaming now, you can be getting paid for that same effort that you're putting towards a mixtape to promote a stream and get paid. When you did the mixtapes, you wouldn't get paid. Unless you were selling it, and then that might come back to bite you, like, DJ Drama and all them selling mixtapes with, like uncleared stuff. So yeah, back then it was mixtape heavy, and I was gearing a lot towards beginner aspiring artists that were trying to do mixtapes. And the game's changed. So right now, with the same effort, you can go and put together a full project with no samples in it, put it on Spotify, because they won't allow you to put something on in the copyright office unless it's been cleared, or even in Spotify, unless it's been cleared. And if it does get past it, and then the people that you sample hear about it, they're coming after you. If they feel like you're making a big enough scene, then they're coming after you. So yeah, now's a good time. I just remembered to do if you want to give this custom soulful hip hop thing I'm doing right now with no samples, you can check out customgeniusbangers.com. I gotta keep reminding myself to mention that. Yeah, customgeniusbangers.com, and we can work together, and we can see if maybe we're a good fit, and we can sit down and make some soulful hip hop that sounds like a sample but with no samples. So yeah, anyway, yeah, so the game's different now. Now it's streams, and you get paid off the streams, and you can get paid off of YouTube and the algorithm, and you get paid every time somebody watches your stuff on YouTube. So now if you upload something to YouTube, it'll detect you got a sample in it. That's a big problem. You have to give up all your ad money to whoever you sample. So that's it. Why would I keep doing that? So I'm gearing towards getting rid of all of the samples off of my site gradually. I'm gonna keep adding more stuff that doesn't have samples in it, and I got a whole EP on the way with the whole, everything is no samples. It has that vintage, like, sampley vibe, and yeah, that's what's coming, and that's why I'm not sampling. So I don't know if you have any questions, anybody out there, but I've been freestyling this whole this whole little session, and yeah, I don't think that there's anything wrong with sampling, right? If you have a hobby, you want to make the dopest feeling song, you could do a sample, but think about this. Once it becomes commercial, not meaning in a bad way, commercial meaning like once you plan on making money with your music, you're kind of being a dick if you don't give people their credit and their monies. It's completely understandable. They're playing the core of your song. So there's nothing wrong with sampling. I think sampling is amazing. It's great, but to survive in this age where it's like this genre of music is being attacked by a system. Pretty much since the inception, it's like once it started becoming popular, it became attacked with laws that just were meant to keep this genre down. So like it's like adapting, like in order to do hip hop, we had to adapt. Back then it was necessary to do samples, but maybe not so anymore. Now you can learn a ton of things on YouTube. You can figure out how to compose your music. You know what I'm saying? Like back then when hip hop was in its origins, in its infancy, people sampled out of necessity. And that's not necessarily the case now. Now anybody who has a phone can learn how to compose music, or they can link up with somebody who does. So sampling, it is what it is. But if you're gonna sample, keep it to yourself. Like, there's nothing wrong with making the most epic sounding sampling songs if you're like the top of the game and you just got money to spare. Just like, bug it. But if you're a real artist that's trying to do the damn thing, trying to get paid and continually do music, sampling is a surefire way to, shoot yourself in the foot as far as business is concerned. So that's my take on it. That's why. So yeah, if you want somebody to compose some music for you, some soulful hip hop sound sample, then you go over to customgeniusbangers.com. I don't know how long I've been on the stream for, but wish there was a way that this little app would tell me. But yeah, I've been trying to do this every day. So customgeniusbangers.com. See if you like what you hear, what you read. I got a little letter up there for you. If you're messing with it, fill it out, and yeah, my assistant will take a look at it. She'll shoot over the people that are qualified, and yeah, we'll set up a time to talk if it makes sense. And like, if you're feeling the situation, or you're feeling what I can offer, and I'm feeling what you need, we're linking up. Then we'll work together. So just check out customgeniusbangers.com, and I think that pretty much sums it up. I probably forgot something because I just did this off the top freestyle. But see you next time. You hear that Pokemon in the background? Chicken nuggets, Pokemon, Pikachu. Take it easy, y'all. Peace.